Pokemon. Pokemon is such an insanely large franchise, I honestly have no clue how you could even attempt to avoid it. One way or another, this little rat is going to infiltrate your life, whether it be at home on your TV screen, in those binders most of us probably had as a kid, or even when going outside for a walk. One way or another, Pikachu is there. Watching, studying, waiting for us to slip up so he can strike. But recently he's discovered new technology. If Pikachu can't get us in any of the previously mentioned ways, he'll get us at our most vulnerable, when we're asleep. So come and join me as I explain my experience with Pokémon Sleep. So I played Pokémon Sleep for 30 days, or 30 nights if you will. Now I thought it'd be appropriate to film this where I go to sleep at, and if you're wondering why am I filming in this cruddy, dirty place, it's because, as I see it, if I'm scared of where I'm sleeping at night, so is the boogeyman. So to put it simply, Pokémon Sleep is a game that tracks you while you're asleep and rewards you based on how well you've slept at night. You start on an island with nothing around you except for you, your camp, the Pikachu you start with at the very beginning, and a very, very hungry Snorlax. You increase the Snorlax's drowsy power by having your Pokemon collect berries and feeding Snorlax breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My personal favorite meal to feed this poor bastard is just an insane amount of oil. I am here to ruin this man's stomach. You also get rewarded based on how many different kinds of sleeping Pokemon you snap pictures of in the morning, and most importantly, you can also befriend them and they can help you out throughout the day feeding Snorlax. Now, in order to catch these Pokemon, you level up their friendship by giving them these little biscuits in the morning, and once their friendship level is maxed out, they join your party. Also, you can add your friends in this game so you can keep track of how the homies sleep at night. Remember, it's always a good idea to check up on the boys. So if I look here, it seems that my buddy Joe at DX didn't have a very good Pokemon Sleep last night, so I think maybe I should just call and check up on him.
Hello?
Hey Josh, I just wanted to check in. It seems like you didn't get a very good Pokemon Sleep last night. How you doing okay?
This again? Listen, you've been at this for the past three weeks now? I never should have downloaded that fucking game because, guess what? Just because I don't have a better sleep than you, it instantly, you're just constantly harassing. All right? So some of us have jobs to work, okay? Sorry that I have to get up early in the morning, get ready. I haven't even had my coffee yet, and you're hassling.
Okay, well, I hope the rest of your day goes better. You see, he's clearly upset from a lack of sleep. Just like Pokemon Go, you collect these candies to level up and eventually evolve your Pokemon. You also get sleep points, which is the main currency in this game. The amount of these shut-eye dollars is based on how long you actually slept throughout the night. For example, the game only tracks for about 8.5 hours, so if you get, let's say 4 hours of sleep that night, you're only going to get about 50 sleep points. But if you sleep your full 8 hours, you get 100. And with those sleep points, you could go through the store and buy whatever items they may have for you. You also get rewarded based on how many Pokemon you add to your sleep decks with different islands throughout your progress. Each island containing different kinds of Pokemon to incentivize you to get a good night's rest, which would lead you to finding even more Pokemon to study in the morning, which would lead you to a new island where you simply repeat the process with different areas over and over again. Now, admittedly, there's not a whole lot going on with this game, so I covered, I think, most of the important basics. So now I think it's time to talk about the intended use of Pokemon Sleep. Similar to how Pokemon Go incentivizes getting some light exercise and going outside every day, Pokemon Sleep also encourages making better, healthy decisions by, if you can believe it, getting a good night's rest. Now, since I've been using this app for about a month now, I've noticed significant increases to just general mental health and physical well-being. I haven't really been as tired when I get up in the morning because my brain has to immediately start focusing on what Pokemon I'm going to see. Am I going to see something new? Am I going to have to focus on getting more candies? What Pokemon do I want to add to my party? On top of the fact that my brain is already running in the morning, it also helps that my retinas are absolutely blasted when I get up because you cannot adjust the brightness of this game. I felt more focused and productive, whether it be going to work or coming home and filming or editing videos like this one. Also, I think it's important to mention to all you shiny hunters out there are absolutely shiny Pokemon in this game. I don't have any footage of this because I have not found any shiny Pokemon yet. Pokemon Sleep dev team, if you are listening to this, you can just go ahead and increase the shiny odds on my account only. You don't have to do it for anybody else, just do it for me, okay? I also feel I've been more productive around the house, like not putting off chores for a full week straight. I'll have you know, I've done the dishes twice this week already. But legitimately, the amount of impact that this small, goofy app has had on my life is actually insane. I genuinely cannot recommend this enough. So when you're going to sleep tonight and you're trying to pick which mouse you're gonna go to sleep with, don't pick this one. He's a fiend. You can go ahead and pick this one. He's a friend. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think it's time to get a well-deserved Pokemon Sleep.
Man, I don't want to be in here. How am I supposed to boogie in these conditions?
Okay, so since recording, Pokemon Sleep has announced a couple new things. First off, the most important one is we're gonna be getting new Pokemon. They haven't said which ones yet, but you know, they're coming. There's actually gonna be an event every month during the full moon, so that's pretty exciting. Your slumber power will be increased. But let's go back to those new Pokemon a little bit. You know, maybe it could be a good idea to like think about where that could go in the future. For example, some of my favorites could appear, such as the good old boy Delibird. Delibird would be a great maybe seasonal Pokemon. Maybe you can only catch Delibird in the month of December. I think that could be fun and incentivize people to keep playing. I think it's inevitable that we see some Pokemon show up that are season based. I'm pretty sure Pokemon Go already does that. If they don't, I have no clue how they would manage to squeeze in however many there are. I think we're in the thousands now. So my Pokemon knowledge pretty much consists of Gen 1 through 4 because Diamond and Pearl was the last game I played as a kid. I came back to the games during Gen 8 because Pokemon was on a mainline console again, which was pretty exciting. I didn't own a DS at the time, or I guess I still don't actually own a DS, but let me tell you, Sword and Shield? That shit went kind of hard. You know what Sword and Shield had? It had toxtricity, and toxtricity is so fucking cool. Please add this Pokemon to Pokemon Sleep. He is based off of like British punks, which is really sick. He has 2 different variations depending on his nature. There are natures in the game. This would be the perfect fit. Listen, I just really like this Pokemon, okay? And I think he's cool. So I've told this to some people, and some of them knew about it, some of them didn't, but I'm going to share now. Toxtricity has this really cool thing where his different forms actually represent different instruments. If you look right here, this guy right here has those 6 things on his stomach, whereas this guy here only has 4, and that can only mean one thing. You know, the one with 6 things on his chest, that is obviously reminiscent to how many strings you have on a guitar. Where the one with 4 strings on his chest clearly represents the amount of strings you get on a bass. There's just a little bit of Pokemon trivia for those of you who didn't know that. I think that is mostly common knowledge, but I still think it's cool. Anyway, add this line into Pokemon Sleep. I love this dude. Now, while you're at it, you should also just go ahead and add Ludicolo, because this guy is fucking badass. I just wanted to come back and briefly talk about some of my favorite Pokemon, and there's a lot I don't know because I have very little knowledge on Gen 4 through 7. I know Hawlucha. That one's funny. Like I said, there's a pretty big gap in my Pokemon knowledge, so whatever Pokemon you guys are interested in, I'd honestly like to hear it, because maybe I could find some new cool dudes. But that being said, one last time, I do legitimately believe that Pokemon Sleep is a really solid mobile app with... I don't even know if you could call it a game. There's not a whole lot you do, and you only open it for maybe a couple minutes at a time, if that. And if you're struggling with sleep, please just give the game a shot. It has been really nice to have motivation to lay down at night because before that it was just like, well, if I'm laying in bed, I am like doing nothing, and it felt like a waste of time. But now it's tricking me into thinking that sleeping isn't a waste of my time, and that's pretty cool. And like I said before, my mental health has been like just a lot higher. I've been feeling a lot better, and hopefully it can do that for some of you guys too. But that being said, I think we've come to the end of the video, and I appreciate everybody who checked it out. And there is a couple other ideas planned in the future as far as Pokemon content goes, but I don't have a time frame for that, so I guess you might just have to look out for it. But thank you all, and see ya!